In this last round, we are going to see Scott Flint on camera again, taking out Phil the King Keffer. We saw Phil get his first loss last round against Derek Bertrand. There are no undefeated players in this tournament currently. This extra round is based on the number of people. Co-commentating with me is a Massachusetts native and one of my play group's members here, Scott Hamilton. Scott, how are you doing?
Good evening, guys. Doing pretty well, Joe. And I live in Massachusetts, but I am a New Hampshire native. Live free or die, baby.
Good to know. New England. We'll just say New England.
Absolutely.
We've seen both of these decks, so we've got a little bit of Leonidas on Zorro Crime. Their big difference is Scott's been running a draw 3 version with Deja Thoris, and Keffer's running a Robin Hood version, the kind of the more traditional version. I'm not going to use the word Cadillac. It's not a Cadillac. It doesn't drive itself. But it'll be interesting to see the differences. You know, we saw Corey Sims' deck earlier playing multiple draw 3 effects because the biggest weakness of the combat deck currently is its lack of negates. So it's going to be interesting to see if that draw 3 off Deja or any of the other cards that she brings is going to create opportunities that Robin Hood isn't creating. Now, Keffer, they're both running the round table. Not one of the most played events, but definitely these decks are using it well. It's Keffer's been pretty lucky. He's drawn the Gemini firsthand in 2 games that we've watched, and it's been really clutch that he's been able to place it. When you don't have that, the Gemini can be a really weak card firsthand. Scott, you've been playing a lot of Modern with us weeknights on Wednesdays at Pandemonium Books and Games in Cambridge. How I wanted to give you a little quiz. We've been going through the sheets. How many characters in Modern this set do you think didn't get played this tournament?
Ooh. Oh boy. I'm gonna say I'm gonna go with 6.
That's pretty close. Right now, I think the math says 5. So
what are the 5?
it was. Well, so Leonidas. I did that 10 times. Lancelot isn't on any decks currently.
Wow.
Invisible Man was on. Someone had a really good Invisible Man deck and did not end up playing it. Angry Mob Industrial and Modern Age, although we do have Angry Mob earlier versions. That's 4, and I'm spacing on who the 5th one was.
I'm gonna guess Poseidon or maybe Captain Nemo.
It might be Poseidon. No, Captain Nemo went the other direction. He wasn't played last tournament. He's on about 15 decks this tournament.
Wow.
Yeah, very highly used. All right, so let's jump back into the action here. So Scott and Phil both do kind of the typical place out. Scott's got a riposte, an 8 combat, Professor Q Porter ally card. He's got the 7 any power teamwork, which does give the +1 off the second follow-up. They've both got Make You Famous Place to Billy, and then Scott's got another 7 and an ally. Phil had the dupe of the 5. Phil's been definitely having a little less variance luck than usual. He's got the same teamwork, but he's got the For Sparta on Leonidas. Very good card. He's got the Master Swordsman on Zorro. Pretty even as far as placement goes. Now, Scott's going to end up with a couple of missions in the top. Phil goes 1 and runs. And we're going to go into the next battle now that they both got a little bit of a war chest here. Keffer's going to dupe on Make You Famous. Scott dupes on his 8. Now, I can't talk much about it, but very interesting just based on this meta. It's going to be so interesting to see how the Invincible set shakes things up. Definitely, there's some combat characters here that are being pretty popular, but I really think there's a couple of intellect and energy characters that are going to really open up some of the meta. And of course, if Skybound's anything, the Invincible set is heavy in brute force, which really surprised, Scott. Hercules was very well represented at the last tournament. Didn't make the top 8 out of all the decks it was on. Is very low represented in this. Not a lot of brute force decks in this environment.
Well, Hercules is a powerhouse. I mean, he's almost like the he's the new Heroes for Hire.
Those 7s that can defend,
Mm-hmm.
really thought that was going to make him. He was the character we were the most worried about. So surprisingly enough, not one of the ones that's being the most used. So Scott places a 300 down on Leonidas, gets that special card 8 there. That's always a big threat. He's managed to get his other 8 over on Zorro, so either one of them can defend with an 8. We haven't seen that pop up yet for Phil Keffer, but he did place 4 Sparta to Leonidas, so he wouldn't be able to place it either. And he is still repping that Gemini, and like we always say, Gemini just gets better as the game goes on. The more options there are in that dead pile, the better it's going to be. But other than the Master Thief card, which can be defended, he's not going to have as good of a target as Deja's Draw 3. Now, we've also seen Keffer is playing Fairy Protection. We saw in an earlier round, Scott's playing the other Draw 3. Scott places his Gemini now on the round table, so he's got that in the back. I think Phil just said, I'm done. Scott's got 10 cards placed to Keffer's 8. So Scott has won the first hand. It looks like he's only betting 1, but he's maintaining the placing advantage at the same time. Phil's adding it up and doing the math, and he's saying, ugh, I'm still behind. So this is one he's going to try to fight, and he's going to try to even it out a little bit. He goes to. Looks like Scott's trying to debate whether he even wants to fight this one, but he's going to. So we're seeing some action. This teamwork's going to come out. Deja Torres is throwing. Actually, can she? I don't think she can technically throw that teamwork. So that's a little bit of a misplay on Scott's part. That's a 7 to use teamwork. Deja is only a 6. But there is a yeah, interesting. So that's a little bit of a misplay. No big deal. He's going to follow it up with the 8. Wow, Scott's just going with the big hits. The other 8 is over there. If he doesn't have the 7, that actually gives that a +1 to make it an 8. And he let the other 8 hit. So I really like that play from Scott Flint. Just being aggressive. He already let the 1-8 hit, puts him in a really rough choice. What do you think, Sky Hamilton? Do you you're in a situation like this. Are you throwing big hits? Or are you trying to get those little spectrum hits out and get cards out of his hand?
I feel like card advantage is such a huge. It's a road to success in this game. I like to test it out and test the waters. You never know what he's got in his hand, and with so many cards placed, really anything's on the board. So I'm trying to thin out his hand. I'm just trying to thin out his hand so I have more information in front of me.
Yeah, that makes sense. So Phil tries to block with the 7, and Scott tells him it's +1. You got to have the 8, and it looks like he's not able to defend it. So now Keffer is picking up the same power, the same teamwork, and we're probably going to see him fire right back. Now it looks like Scott Flint has his draw 3 this hand. I see the Lady of the Lake. So so for those of you who don't know, that 7 to use teamwork is +0 on the first attack, +1 on the second attack. So the second power card that follows through does get a little boost. The +6 one, the other one, which that one wasn't, gets a little bit less of a boost. So Phil Keffer's going to fire right back. Robin Hood's throwing that through his 7 combat. It hits. So the question here is, how far is he going to go with this? Is he going to try to do the same thing? He's got the 7 in hand. The difference here being if Scott can't block a 7 and an 8, he just loses Deja, and that is going to be pretty rough in this second hand. Will Keffer take a page out of his own book and try to throw the same thing? Keffer's normally a little bit of a more conservative player, but this may be one of those times where he just decides, I've got to go for it. Now, he's also got in his hand 3 quick strokes and a ton of combat cards placed. So he may be trying to figure out the best way to throw 3 quick strokes and maximize that 15 damage. If Scott lets this hit, Phil can pass on making the final one. So it's just an 8. Scott could pass on making the final attack here, but he's going to try for it. So let's see how this does. Does Scott Flint have a way to defend this? Boom. Oh my God. We see Deja go down. This is going to be what we like to call a slobber knocker. Keffer defends from hand with the riposte and does the 8 back from Leonidas. Keffer doesn't even consider blocking it. He just says, no, 3 8s. I can't block 3 8s. Robin Hood's dead. Scott Flint's one of my favorite people to watch these days. You know, he came back on the scene a while after we'd been playing, but he's only tends to go to the Ohio events or the local ones. Maybe the Peace Bridge ones. I haven't been to all of those. But I played him at his first tournament, and you know, a lot of times if somebody's new to coming back, I'll take it a little easy on him. So I was taking it easy on him for a hand or two, and then I just realized this guy is whooping me. And then the next time we played, I was like, well, I'm not taking it easy on this guy. He made it to the top 8 last event. And so I tried as hard as I could, and he beat me again. And after about the 3rd event in a row getting just obliterated by Scott Flynn, I realized, oh, yeah, this guy's a very, very good Overpower player. And he's proven it right now. You know, he's going toe-to-toe with one of the best players in the game.
Interesting to me that they both went after the different character on their team. So now we've got a true mirror match.
That's true, too. You know, it makes sense. Scott kind of has to go for Robin Hood. Robin Hood's got the teammate avoid a combat icon draw. You got to get rid of him if you're a combat deck. But it's interesting to me. I think probably Keffer went there to throw that teamwork string, just knowing if he can't block the initial 6, then I probably have a kill if I just go 7-8.
Yeah.
So Keffer is trying to decide what he's going to do here. I like throwing I know he doesn't like to use those placed cards, but I like either throwing the for Sparta on Zorro or using the Gemini and just setting myself up with another card like a combat card. He's got 3 quick strokes. He does not want to use the Master Swordsman. He wants to make sure he's got a 7 to throw, and that the 7 will put him at least 15 so he can threaten the kill. So he's got to build up a little bit of damage there.
I think with Deja, too, and Scott has, you said Scott has his Gemini placed?
He does.
So with Deja, you know, if he's got that, her draw 3 in hand, and then you've got the Gemini, things can get out of hand really quickly.
Oh, for sure. And as much as Keffer's staying in this, he is going to do the 3 quick strokes. Okay, so he's got the 2. He's got a card in hand. We know he can throw the 7. The 2 hits. If he gets him to 15 with these 2 cards, he has to go against the same character. Can't switch that up. That's 9. Okay, hold up. I think they're going to call a judge. I think they're resolving it themselves. I think Phil didn't realize he had to make it against the same character. That's a hit. Is he making a third? No. And Scott fires it off. He's got the draw 3. Does it resolve? I mean, he's kind of telling him what's in his hand. He says, go okay. Or it's a little bit of gamesmanship. Just a little, hey, I might have it. Might. Scott draws a teamwork that only Deja could play. He does a Deja avoid. Now, this is an interesting thing about the new rules to the game, that he did not have to reveal either of those cards. The rules are very clear on discards. Did it belong to a character that was KO'd in a previous battle, or is it a grid that's no longer usable because a character died in a previous battle? It's actually designed specifically for this situation, so you can bluff with the cards that you drop.
You're truly just discarding dupes.
Pretty much. I mean, it's old character unusables, but if they die in the current battle, we want these like bigger battles like this that really matter to not just be decided because you're duping out. Kefir saying, I want a Gemini. What has Kefir got in his thing? I mean, he's probably got a 300, I believe. That's probably the best thing that he's got. We haven't seen the avoid for Leonidas from him. We haven't really seen much more than a riposte from Zorro. He's already got other than that, or maybe a teamwork, like maybe Gemini has to get a special. I think it's probably got to be the 300 off the 8. Technically, I'm pretty sure the Gemini does stay in the dead pile, weirdly enough. I don't believe the Gemini does go to the any defeated characters pile because it's an exchange. It might be, maybe it's supposed to be errata to be fetch, but I think currently it reads exchange. All right, so we've got Scott Flint fires back. He has got a 3 energy. Alan Quartermain, the last member of the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, so they are all represented in this set. What a great comic if you haven't read it. Classic Alan Moore book. Didn't love the movie, but a fantastic 2 graphic novel series. Really, really great if you've never read it.
Agree, although I really like his top 10 as well.
What's top 10?
That was a one he did for ABC. It's basically everybody's super powered, and it's like this is the cops of the superpower city.
Oh, I'll have to read that. Everything Alan Moore does is definitely quality. His original run on Swamp Thing, I've only read a tiny bit of it, but that's available right now in graphic novel. That's great. All right, Phil blocks the ally with the riposte, so that's clearly what he went and got with the Gemini. He's got 1 card left in hand. Another special's coming in. It's the Riches of Don Della Vega. That's hits, and he gets to move an unventured mission. Wow. Boom. Boom. That is a huge hit. Man, neither one of them wants to back down here. This is just such a brutal match. And imagine too, if Scott can get another hit on Zorro and then kill him with I Make You Famous, he'll have moved 2 mission cards up just in this one fight.
It's a great trick if you can pull it off.
Scott, would you be surprised to hear Billy the Kid is the most used character in both tournaments?
No, not at all. I think he's. How many quick draws have actually? I remember the first time I was playing Sean, and he pulled a quick draw on me, and it just rocked my world.
I haven't seen one go off, but they're definitely being played. We've seen them in people's hands.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny. I was telling the story recently where when we actually made him, we were having a debate about giving characters like 1 or 2 random cards that can be played from reserve. And a lot of the people didn't think Billy the Kid would see play as a reserve character just because it was like a couple of low numerical hits. And lo and behold, he pays for you to have a couple of 8s on the front line and becomes the most popular reserve character in the game for the first set.
He's a stud.
All right. Kefir tosses a teamwork out that wouldn't have been for the KO, and then he throws a 5 over on Zoro to add some spectrum. Kefir clearly not playing that card, even though he has Zoro, because he has to read it. It's a 4, and if it hits, he's going to get to look at some cards on the top of Kefir's deck. He's not playing Baker Street, but I think he still gets to discard one of them. Let me actually.
I've got the card in front of me. Axe level 4 combat. If successful, Zoro may look at the top 5 cards in opponent's draw pile, choose 1 card, and discard to dead pile.
Now, had he been, he gets rid of a 300. I like it. I like that move a lot. Yeah, that is a very underrated 4. Being able to look at their top 5 cards and mill 2. If you have Baker Street. Scott, you may have just seen my next deck for Sunday or for Wednesday. I may have to do
make a note of it.
I may have to do a Baker Street with that.
Baker Street is my go-to for my my Robin Hood, Count of Monte Cristo, Invisible Man, and Victory Harbin and Reserve deck.
Wow, he made him famous.
Wow.
And then
moves 2 up.
Boot. Right back and forth. Then the other Zoro dies. Just Leonidas on Leonidas. So much venture on the board. I need to add this up too. I can't even tell who's winning at this point. So over on Phil Kefir has 11, 18, 20, 28, 34, 41, 45. Scott has 16, 23, 27, 32, 49. This is crazy. What a crazy... These last 2 rounds have been insane.
How much is that? Is that 100 venture points on the board right now?
There's almost 100 venture, just shy of it. If Scott gets to fire his Gemini off, which there's nothing Phil can do about it.
We're here for it, baby.
I mean, he's, again, most likely just going to get an 8 for Leonidas at this point. Interesting, too, to see. One of my cards I really wanted to see a lot of play with Leonidas is the Shield Phalanx, and all these Leonidases, we haven't seen anyone playing it yet. I'm a little confused here. I guess Scott just didn't want to use the Gemini.
Well, the great thing about Shield Phalanx is they're stackable.
Right, but nobody seems to be playing them. Yeah, I'm a little confused why Scott didn't just use the Gemini and try to get it, even if he just puts a multi-hit out there, but Kefir's got 3 unusables and a dupe 7. That is brutal. Man, Kefir, considering the amount of variance that's been hitting him, the fact that he's in the top position in this tournament has been surprising. But here we go. Scott says, I see your 4, and I'm going to raise you 1. So both of them are going into this with 4 cards. Now, one of them is the Gemini for Scott Flint. That's definitely a better position to be in. But Leonidas has a hit on him, so there's another 800 on Leonidas. What's Scott got? He's got his for Sparta, the negate.
I think we can comfortably say that we won't have nearly 100 points of venture on the table this round.
I'm not a betting man, but I think you're right. Interesting that he puts the 7 on Billy. He clearly wants to carry it to the next battle. But I think you gotta. I don't know. It's just what do you leverage with that Gemini to put this away? He's got 15 points in venture and a negate. I mean, I think you got to throw for Sparta at the 8 and kind of force him to use it, or, well, there he goes. He puts the 6 down. He goes 2. Scott goes 1. Now, Scott does have the advantage of knowing that he doesn't have any speed. Everything's combat. He doesn't have speed. He can take a hit or two and try to get some off-color icons out, but I don't think he's winning the venture. I don't think he's winning this hand. Now, Phil Keffer did place everything. He went 2. I think Scott said go. Just, use one of your placed cards. And that's actually a bad position for Phil to be in, for him to say go. He's going to have to, I think he's going to have to use, he's going to have to use the negate. Oh, he said hits. Does he not know how that works? He's playing that card. He must know that he can't use specials after. He's got a void. He gets another 3 out. I think Scott's going to pull this venture out.
Now, Joe, can he offensively play the negate?
No, hold on. Can't play specials. Oh.
Yeah, he didn't realize.
Yes, he could negate the 6 if he wanted to. He's like, that card's in my deck. I never realized it did that.
I've been there. Been there, done that.
Oh, who hasn't? We've all been there. Scott's, so he could offensively negate the 6. The problem is he takes the turn to do that. Scott fires off the Gemini now that the negate's gone, and he's not going to win. He does it. Now, if I'm Scott, I just Gemini a 300. The 300 blocks the 8. If Phil throws the 8 over at the other character, he's going to end up with a Leonidas that's almost dead for 2 venture. Although, you know what'd be pretty dope? If he took a quick draw right here, if he had the stones to say, I'm going to take a quick draw, and if he throws that 8, it wouldn't work though, because Phil's gonna throw the 8 at Leonidas just to, it's for, oh wait, it's not for the kill. I was thinking those were 2 6s. This is tough.
That's the old game, Joe.
Yeah, he did exactly what I thought. He lets the 8 hit. He gets 8 damage on Leonidas. And Keffer wins the venture.
So Scott's Leonidas is at 18, one color,
Yep.
and Phil's was at a 3 strength,
Yeah, so it's
3
11
brute
and 2
force.
colors.
Yeah.
Phil's got another 4 duplicates or unusable cards, but he does have his Freya in hand, which this is a really good time to get that. He's got a dupe 4. So he's down 5 cards. So again, he's going to have 3 cards. This could be a really bad moment for Phil Keffer. If Scott has an even remotely playable hand here, he's got a 7. And it's not Phil's. Oh, wow. He has 7 cards to Phil's 3. He plays the 8, matches with the 8. He's got any character avoid. He's got the negate, a 4. I see a 7 in Scott's hand. I see a 4 aspect getting put on the home base.
Is Scott in a position to venture for the win?
I think he is. That 1 energy is really annoying. The way Phil Keffer is placed right now, too, that 1 energy is going to make him use an avoid or an 8. Phil goes 1. Scott, I think this is the no guts, no glory time. This is your opportunity. Whatever you can bet. All right, so he has 4. He can go 5 for the win. He can give Phil 3 cards, play him 6 cards on 7, and see what happens. I don't know if it's the right call because we don't know what's in there, but he's going to go for it. We have a bet 5 for the win. 1, 2, 3. This is going to be a hell of a hand. Phil draws 3 cards. I'm not seeing any go to the discard pile. Are they all keepers? Wow. Wow. What does he have in his hand? What did he pull off? It looks like a 3 multi. It looks like maybe an unplayable ally, which he doesn't have to discard.
Are we finally going to see a quick draw decide a game?
Oh my God. I just want to see a quick draw played defensively. I've never seen it on a commentary match. Maybe this is the time. Throws the 8, defends with the 8. Not surprising. 4 for the kill. Keffer's got to either use his 2 of his cards in hand, or he's got to use the avoid. This is for the win. It's for the win. He doesn't. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say 4. So because Phil has his 4 multi placed on Billy the Kid, so it's a great play because you either have to avoid or block up, or block down, or give up some points.
If Keffer's got the quick draw, I didn't see if he drew it. This is for the win, and he used the 8, so he may say to himself, "You know what? I can block any big attack with the avoid. Maybe I have to just force him into the quick draw and see if I can 2 for 1 him."
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, we know the 1's going to come next because that's a supremely annoying little kill shot.
Yep.
He's going to block it with the 3. He's got 1 card in hand in a 4. Leonidas goes down. That might not end up being that big a deal. Keffer's only got 2 cards left in his hand. Scott has got a mitt full of cards. The 7, and he puts the shakeout. He had 2 unusable allies. Wow. Phil Keffer goes undefeated for 6 rounds and finishes the tournament 6-2. Scott Flint, I think, also finishes 6-2. These guys are going to have a hell of a set of breakers, so I think we're going to see both these guys again in the top 8. But talk about 2 awesome games for the last 2 rounds. Just great overpower. Great overpower.